This week on Ebert and Roeper,
Remember, kids, there's nothing faster than slow.
Mike Myers in The Cat in the Hat.
He's the best. Take it from me.
William H. Macy and Alec Baldwin in The Cooler.
What do you want from me?
And Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai.
This world and the people in it
All of it
are
spectacular.
just really well done. That's Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai, the story of a Civil War veteran who learns the way of the samurai. We'll have an early review, plus more new movies, and a magical new DVD for the entire family. I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. Our first movie is The Cat in the Hat, and I'm sure half the critics in the country are going to review it in Dr. Seuss-like verse. Not me, even though I can think of a few rhymes for thumbs down. Mike Myers is buried beneath about 8 feet of hair, whiskers, makeup, and hat as the mischief-making feline, and he brings a manic Robin Williams-type approach to the character. Spencer Breslin and Dakota Fanning are the targets of his mayhem.
You should have seen the look on your face. It was like you saw a monster.
A monster? Where? That could have gone better.
You know, I can understand that reaction because there is something kind of creepy about this big talking cat creature. But Myers being Myers, the cat does score some hard-earned laughs as he entertains the fun-impaired kids.
Take off the lid. You can put in, I don't know, a carton of eggs. What? How about a pack of hot dogs? Why not? Some ketchup. How about? I know what you're thinking. Even a fire extinguisher. There we go. Now, close the lid and Bob's your flippin' uncle.
What an astounding product!
Okay, there's something inspired about that scene in a weird, hallucinogenic, infomercial bashing kind of way. Other scenes are just weird and frantic without being funny, as when Thing 1 and Thing 2 arrive.
Oh!
Incoming!
They're wrecking the whole house!
First published in 1957, The Cat in the Hat is one of the most loved and best-selling children's books ever. It's also a mere 1,600 words, and even at 82 minutes, the movie version seems like a big stretch. Director Bull Welch was the production designer on Beetlejuice and the Men in Black films, and the sets here are colorful marvels, but we spend an awful lot of time in the house with Myers channeling Bert Lahr's cowardly lion voice and doing the same old shtick. His best comic moments occur when he steps out of character for in-jokes and asides. That's okay, but maybe a part of him was realizing as the movie was being made that a live-action version of The Cat in the Hat just wasn't a great idea.
You know, this movie was produced by the same people who made The Grinch That Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Didn't like that one either.
If there's one thing I've learned from these two movies is that we don't want to see Jim Carrey as a Grinch, and we don't want to see Mike Myers as a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, these are talented comic performers. Let's see them do their stuff. Don't bury them under a ton of technology.
That's a great point. And these are two of the biggest talents, the biggest comedic talents around. If they can't pull it off, I mean, I don't want to see them together playing Green Eggs and Ham next. It's just not a good idea.
And you know, there's another thing about the cat in the hat.
Okay.
You know my rule that you should never get married to anyone you wouldn't take a 3-day bus ride with.
Okay.
You should never star a character you can't stand for 82 minutes.
Yeah, and you're right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's kind of an odious character, and there's some strange scenes. And when they end up at a rave and Paris Hilton shows up, you know this movie is desperate and unfunny.
What about that scene where they take their Chinese babysitter, Mrs. Kwan? She's totally out of it because she's narcoleptic, and they turn her into a raft to go down the water slide. Now, I know it's a fantasy scene, but nevertheless, I thought it was kind of cruel.
And dopey.
And dopey. Okay, our next movie is The Cooler, starring William H. Macy in a tender performance as another one of his heroic sad sacks. He plays a guy named Bernie whose luck is so bad he's actually employed by a Las Vegas casino as a cooler. All he has to do is stand next to a guy on a hot streak, and the guy starts to lose. One night he goes out on a rare date with a waitress at the casino, played by Maria Bello.
You're a cooler. You turn winners into losers.
Do you know how I do that?
Listen, I know there's a lot of stuff that happens in casinos all the time.
I do it by being myself. People get next to me, their luck turns. It's always been that way.
The casino boss, played with chilling effectiveness by Alec Baldwin, is old-fashioned enough to believe in a cooler, especially when the cooler is not cooling things down enough. The thing is, being in love has changed Bernie's luck.
We're down almost $1 million out there. Doesn't that seem strange to you? I guess I'm having a
An off day?
No. You don't have off days, Lutz. You're luck incarnate. What's wrong? You're coming down with something? You have this look about you.
No. As a matter of fact, I've never been better.
Baldwin is under pressure from a hotshot young management consultant who wants to modernize the casino and doesn't believe in old-fashioned Vegas traditions like coolers.
Know what that is?
No.
It's music, to be sure. It's pleasant, not intrusive. But recorded at a subsonic level is a mantra. Lose. Lose. Lose.
The cooler sounds sort of like a comedy. A loser becomes a winner after he falls in love. But this is a movie with a lot of moods. It deals frankly with scenes involving sex and violence, and all of William Macy's considerable talent as an actor is used in creating this guy, Bernie, who lives in a real world of pain and heartbreak. Maria Bello and Alec Baldwin also play characters with complex motives, and I like the way Baldwin shows the casino boss as a mixture of ruthlessness and sentimentality. It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin totally wasted in The Cat in the Hat, but used to great effect here.
Yeah.
I think Baldwin is deserving of a Best Supporting Actor nomination. He's that good in this film. And William H. Macy and the relationship with Maria Bello feels so real, and they have an honest sex scene. It's not gratuitous, obviously, but it's great to actually see people, you know, someone who's in his 50s and someone's maybe in her late 30s having an honest relationship like that. And I love the whole idea about a cooler, about a guy who just brushes up against people to change their luck, and that seems like such a fable. But you go to Vegas and you'll see people who believe in stuff like that.
Everybody out there believes you changed my luck.
Yeah.
You know, you ended my streak. You know, Macy was out at Sundance when this movie had its premiere, and he was complaining that the MPAA didn't know if they wanted to give the movie an R rating because of the sex scene. And he said, I've been an actor all my life. I'm 50 years old. I stayed in shape, hoping that someday in this long career I would be asked to do a sex scene, and finally I was, and they want to cut it out.
Yeah, because it's honest, and that scares the
It is honest.
But this is a good film, and it's a very good film about the culture of Las Vegas.
Yes, it is.
Okay, coming up next, one of the best movies I've seen since I've been on this show when we come back. There's nothing quite like that moment when I'm immersed in a film and I realize that no matter where it ends up, I'm experiencing a work of art that I'll remember forever. Such was the case with Jim Sheridan's In America, a film brimming with honest sentiment and infused with the spirit of Frank Capra's best work. Based partially on Sheridan's own experiences, In America tells the story of an Irish immigrant family in New York in the early 1980s.
You're a genius, Dad.
That's Patty Considine as Johnny, Samantha Morton as Sarah, and real-life sisters Sarah and Emma Bolger as their girls. There's love in the family, but they're all deeply scarred by the death of the youngest child, Frankie.
Blame me. Should have been there to catch him when he fell down the stairs. It's my fault.
I don't blame you.
Djimon Hounsou from Gladiator lends his usual dignity and fire to the role of Mateo, a mysterious neighbor.
Did the kids swim upstairs?
Yeah,
Where are you from?
Ireland.
You came all the way to America to trick or treat?
Yeah.
In America has its heart pinned on its sleeve. The impossibly adorable little girls, the pregnancy that could go wrong, the father's battles to find work, and in a year filled with shining performances by very young actresses in films such as Whale Rider and 13, I'm starting my campaign right now for Sarah Bolger to receive a supporting actress nomination for her wondrous work as the older sister who keeps this family together.
It is a wonderful film. And you know, there's a scene in it involving Patty Considine and Djimon Hounsou that I will not give away. So I hope that you know the one I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The one where he's very mad at this downstairs neighbor, and he asks him a very, very pointed question, and he gets an answer, and suddenly something clicks, and he realizes a very important thing, and at that moment, my heart just leapt up at the way that he was able to make that transition and understand that the whole situation was on a totally different level. Well, this movie is so heartfelt in the way it deals with that.
Well, and that scene in particular, and actually the whole movie, the writing is so good without drawing attention to itself, and so is the acting. I mean, you're aware of the great performances going on here, but they're not showcase scenes. And in a movie like this, dealing with such big issues, there's nothing more heartfelt and powerful than the loss of a child, but it doesn't go over the top because you believe these two characters. You know, they love each other, but they have a lot of problems. And these two little girls, as the sisters, who are real-life sisters, never do you say, oh, look at the kids acting. Look at the kids showing off here. It's just beautiful and natural.
You know, there have been a lot of movies about immigrants to America, and among Irish Americans, Angela's Ashes is very good, but this movie is really in a class by itself.
I think it's one of the best movies of the year. Okay, coming up next, Tom Cruise is an American soldier whose life is changed in The Last Samurai.
I'll look for you on the field.
I came back to take care of you because I love you.
Or because you were feeling lonely.
Sean Penn plays a dying man in 21 Grams, the new film by Alejandro González Iñárritu. It got 2 thumbs up last week and opens this weekend. Benicio del Toro and Naomi Watts join Penn in 3 intersecting stories which, just like in Iñárritu's Amores Perros, have an unexpected connection. It's a showcase for brilliant acting. Also opening this weekend, Halle Berry stars in Gothika as a prison psychiatrist who is accused of murder and ends up in her own prison. We reviewed it last week. Richard voted thumbs down. I was thumbs up for the uncanny way that a preposterous plot somehow managed to get me involved, maybe because Berry is so effective.
Yeah, I'm wondering still how you got involved in that preposterous plot. I do not change my vote on this. Halle Berry is very good, but it's a howler of a plot. I laughed out loud a couple of times, and I don't think I was supposed to, and that's not a good thing in a horror movie when you're laughing out loud.
People laugh all the time in horror movies.
No, when they have those little laughs that come right before the scare, that's a laugh you're supposed to have. I was laughing at stuff that was supposed to be taken at a deadly serious fashion.
You didn't like her line where she says, I'm not crazy, I'm possessed.
I'm just possessed. That was one of them, but 21 Grams is one of the best
films
of the
listen, if you're not crazy, but you are possessed, what are you supposed to say?
You're supposed to say, go see 21 Grams instead. It's a much superior film.
It is a better movie. Okay, our next movie is a stunningly beautiful epic adventure about 2 enemies who learn to respect each other. This is a good movie. It's The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise as a Civil War veteran who hires out as a mercenary in Japan charged with training an army to put down a rebellion of samurai traditionalists. He is captured in battle by the samurai leader who spares him because he senses a kindred spirit. During a winter of captivity, he begins to understand a worldview completely alien to his own.
Not to introduce yourself is considered extremely rude even among enemies.
Nathan Ogren.
I'm honored to meet you. I have enjoyed this conversation in English.
That's the Japanese star Ken Watanabe as Katsumoto. Cruise's wall of silence eventually falls, and the 2 men from different worlds talk philosophically about the world they share, which is the battlefield.
What do you have in mind?
Take away the advantage of their guns. We're overconfident when we use that. Lure them close. Close enough for a sword.
When spring comes and the mercenaries face the samurai once again, Cruise's old comrades are stunned to see that he has changed sides.
The Imperial Army of Japan demands your surrender. If you and your fellows lay down your arms, you will not be harmed.
This is not possible, as Mr. Omura knows.
Captain Olga, we will show you no quarter. You ride against us, and you are the same as they are.
I'll look for you on the field.
The Last Samurai was directed by Edward Zwick, who has made 3 other movies involving war: Glory, Legends of the Fall, and Courage Under Fire. But this movie is not so much about war as about life, about how 2 professional warriors consider the meaning of their existence and the codes that they live by. The look of this movie is absolutely breathtaking. What a triumph of production design and costuming. The samurai village where the American spends the winter deserves an Oscar for its clarity, simplicity, and beauty. Like Master and Commander, this is not a one-note action movie. It's exciting, but it's also sensitive and perceptive, and Cruise wonderfully evokes this soldier's transformation.
Yeah, once again, an intelligent action film.
Yes, it is.
In scenery, spirit, and story, I think this is one of the most beautiful films of the year. In basic framework, it reminded me a lot of Dances with Wolves. In both cases, you have one of the biggest stars in the world playing a disillusioned American soldier in the late 19th century who bonds with his supposed enemies. There's even a similar cross-cultural romance. I think Tom Cruise is one of the most earnest and hard-working actors around, and he throws himself into this part. As much as I admire Tom Cruise, this role is a bit of a reach for him. Kevin Costner had that Gary Cooper timelessness, but Cruise is very much an actor of his time. His look, voice, and technique are ultra-modern, which is why he's so strong in movies like the futuristic Minority Report. But I didn't buy Cruise in the period epic Far and Away, and I wasn't completely sold on him here. When he puts on that samurai warrior's garb, I did see Tom Cruise in a costume. I don't think it's a weak performance, but it doesn't compare, I don't think, to Russell Crowe's work in Master and Commander. Still, for the movie, a solid thumbs up.
You know, this is always a problem with a movie star. And Tom Cruise is the biggest movie star we have.
Yeah.
And I give him lots of points for going for this project and for trying to do it. And I think that actually, maybe after 5 minutes, I forgot that it was Tom Cruise, and I kind of accepted that he was this soldier. And I believed it. I mean,
he's a good actor.
with it. I mean, he is Tom Cruise. He's not going to ever be able to stop being Tom Cruise.
No, of course not. And obviously, any movie we see with a big star, you know, Halle Berry and Gothika, we have to, you know, suspend disbelief. I'm just saying there were a few moments here where I thought I didn't quite buy him as an authentic member of this cast. And everybody else did seem of their time.
That's a valid feeling that I didn't really share. But, I mean, this movie, when we talk about production design, sometimes it just means that something is pretty or it's amazing, or in the case of The Cat in the Hat, it's way overdone. Here, this world and the people in it, and Ken Watanabe as the Last Samurai,
all of
are just really well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best-looking movies of the year. And I am saying, I mean, I do like the story and some terrific performances elsewhere, so I don't want to concentrate too much on Tom Cruise's performance. He's good in this movie, and it is a terrific film.
Okay.
All right, two of the most visually stunning movies of the year are now out on home video. We'll take a look at them when we come back.
Visit our website at ebertandroeper.tv or at movies.com. Ebert and Roeper's Thumbs Up Video is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
Wing Migration is based on astonishing photography of birds that fly thousands of miles on an exhausting odyssey between their summer and winter homes. Their route takes them through the wilderness and even over Manhattan. It's new on DVD, and it's my video pick of the week. Audiences had to be wondering how they got shots like this. How were they able to get so close to those migrating birds? A documentary on the new DVD explains the techniques that were used.
Young veterinary students and biologists are recruited, some through the unemployment office, to keep our birds company night and day. To live with the birds, swim, and eventually fly with them.
No special effects, no animation, no trick photography, just enormous patience over years and years as Wing Migration documents astonishing feats of strength and navigation by migrating birds. This is an amazing film.
It is an amazing film. I tell people, you know what, watch the first 30 seconds of this movie and I dare you to turn it off. You won't be able to do so.
Absolutely.
Okay, my thumbs up video pick this week is X2, X-Men United, a sequel that I thought topped the original. Better action, superior special effects, more character development. Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, and Halle Berry had the top-tier cast as the mutants fight for, of course, the survival of the planet.
You have him? He's not going anywhere.
The X2 extras include a truly fascinating multi-angle sequence outlining the Nightcrawler's attack on the president, a special effects clinic explaining how the X-Jet flies through a tornado-filled sky, and an interview with the great Stan Lee on the origin of the X-Men.
My biggest problem was, how do they get their superpowers? Well, I couldn't have everybody bitten by radioactive spiders.
Now, it looks like Hugh Jackman's going to have his own Wolverine movie, and the X-Men franchise could go on as long as the Star Trek series, as there are more than a dozen fascinating mutants who could rise to the forefront of their own movies.
You know, and I still have the question, how come it makes you more powerful to have claws and to be able to control the climate of the entire planet?
Yeah, I'd rather be with Storm than Wolverine.
Yeah, okay, so in other words, you found the Halle Berry character to be very plausible in this film.
In this film, yes. In Gothika, no.
We'll be back with a recap in a moment.
Next week is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Next week on Ebert and Roeper, Billy Bob Thornton is a very bad Santa. And Tommy Lee Jones stars in The Missing.
Track him? Yes, you can track him.
Okay, recapping this week's movies, 2 thumbs down for The Cat in the Hat, 2 thumbs up for The Cooler, 2 thumbs way up for In America, which opens next week, 2 thumbs up for The Last Samurai, which opens on December the 5th, and we split on Gothika, but 21 Grams got 2 thumbs up on last week's show. They both open this weekend.
Yeah, we split on Gothika because, I don't know if I mentioned this, I'm thumbs down on that
You
movie.
mentioned that, yeah.
Okay. Remember, you can hear all our recent reviews at ebertandroeper.tv or at movies.com, and read us in print at suntimes.com. Until next week, the balcony is closed.
You know, despite the weight of the apparatus with special effects and makeup and everything else in the Cat in the Hat, Elf, which depends on wit and imagination and true comic genius, is a much better movie.
Much better movie. Will Ferrell's so good in that.
Holiday savings store-wide now at Brand Source. For the best service, selection, and value, go to The Source.
Brand Source, your neighborhood expert.
Soft Lips Lip Protectant protects against sun, wind, and other harsh conditions. Soft Lips, because lips should be soft.
Buy T3 now on DVD. A nightmare has begun that must be stopped.
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Buy Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines now on DVD.
Hoover's new Wind Tunnel Dual V. By focusing suction into powerful V-shaped paths, it has cleaning power from edge to edge. Wind Tunnel Dual V, only from Hoover.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is brought to you by
Blaster Butter, the ultimate theater-style butter-flavored popcorn. Just the way you like it. Oh, yum.
Jelly time!